Hello everyone, welcome to Agentic AI Demystified with Studio, a series under TGIF and your backstage pass to get into the world of agent building. It feels like we are in interesting time at our AI journey. A year back, we were talking about building the agents and Copilot. Today, every one of us are doing that. So the question is no longer about how to build an agent or can we build an agent, but how do we know if it is really good? Unlike traditional softwares, agent doesn't behave exactly the same way every time you hit the prompt. They make decision, they interact with the tools, do reasoning. Not only that, operates at the different level of autonomy. That even makes evaluation most crucial part of your deployment lifecycle and often the one that we miss. So let's take a look at what exactly good means when we are talking about the AI agent, and how we can measure it using some evaluation process and take it from the impressive demo to the solution that we can confidently rely on. To talk more about this, I would like to invite Chayan, who is the solution engineer for business application Microsoft Teams. Hi Chayan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi Vishaka, it's great to be here.
Thank you, Chayan. Chayan, as we are aware about the fact that all of us are building agent, how one should know whether the agent is good enough or it is beyond just answering your questions?
Well, that's an interesting question to ask, right? And honestly, most of the teams they get this wrong. They build an agent, they test it by typing few questions manually, and they look into if the answers are looking fine, and if they are, they just ship it, they just publish it to everyone, right? You don't call it as an evaluation, right? That's just a hope that you have that everybody is going to follow the same happy path that you have followed. But what you really need to be sure if your agent is good or not is the agent evaluation, which actually shifts you from guesswork to a structured and repeatable process.
Right.
You upload a test case, or maybe you ask the Copilot to generate the test cases for you, and the system runs your agent against those test cases automatically. And it scores you on multiple parameters, be it quality, relevance, goal completion, and whatnot, right? And then basis those parameters, it will let you decide if the agent is good enough or need further modifications.
Perfect. You spoke about like generating the test cases and understanding and giving that evaluation flow to the agent. Now help me understand what one advice or thing that you'll ask someone to do or proceed with while they are deploying their agent to production. Is there anything that we miss out on?
Yeah. See, you asked me one, but I'll give you two. Right? See, one suggestion or the recommendation that I have is build your evaluation before you deploy, not afterwards. Right? Most makers they build the agent and then they think about testing, but you have to flip that mindset. Before you go live, you first define what does a good look like for your specific requirements. That's the first part.
Understood.
Second thing is basically build a feedback loop from test, measure, refine, and repeat. Keep this mantra in your mind, and that is exactly what separates, I would say, a demo or a POC from an actual deployment. So the winning teams that I have been engaging on the field, they are not the ones who are building it the fastest, right? But they are the ones who are building it with the feedback loop baked in.
Perfect. I mean, that sounds good when you say building the feedback loop and following it every time when you are building the agent. Now, let's talk about the most important part when it comes to AI and the agent building, the governance and security. Help me understand how evaluation metrics ties the connect the dot between the governance and security for Copilot Studio.
Right. See, evaluation is your, I would say, first line of defense for a responsible AI. Right. And unfortunately, it's not talked about enough in this context. When people talk about AI governance, they often think of and talk about the policy documents, the compliance framework. But the most practical governance tool that you have is your test set, right? Include your test cases that deliberately maybe probe you for the bad behavior. For example, can the agent be manipulated into giving wrong medical advice? Does it actually leak your sensitive data if you're going to ask it cleverly? Right? So Copilot Studio evaluation actually surfaces the agent's security and the protection posture. so that you can see the authentication gaps, the policy issues before they actually become the incidents. So here is my advice to everybody, and that is what I've been telling all the enterprise team as well. Governance without the evaluation is just a paperwork.
Right.
You can have all the AI policies in the world, but if you are not testing whether your agents actually follows them in practice, you do not really know. Right? So embedding the responsible AI test cases into every evaluation. So that's how you make the governance real.
All right, let's quickly jump into the demo. So I've logged into my Copilot Studio console, and from here I will navigate to the evaluation section at the top. You'll notice that I do not have any test cases yet, right? So I will go ahead and create one. Now, here you can see there are multiple ways to build the evaluation, right? So we have an option to upload the file using the template that you can download it in from here, or you can reuse your test interactions from the test section in this console, or you can simply go ahead and use Copilot to generate the test cases. So for this demo, I'll choose the Copilot generated test cases. Here, you will be able to see that the Copilot has already suggested a set of questions to me, and it has suggested me these questions basis the agent and the description and the instructions that I've mentioned. And I can choose to generate more questions that I needed. Maybe if I want to add another 10 or more, I can click on that, and basis that more set of questions will start generating. Now, I can further fine tune these questions with the evaluation configuration section over here, right? So I have the general quality, which is selected for all the questions so far, but I can choose the test method, right? If I want to maybe compare certain meanings, if I want to check if the tools were used or not, if I want to maybe do some keyword matching, have some custom logics in place, do some text similarity, or if I need an exact match in terms of answers, I can use those methods and I can provide my responses for those as well. Now, in this case, I have also selected my user profile, which actually allows me to validate the responses in the context of the authenticated experience as well. Now, in case everything looks good, I'm going to hit save, and post it has saved all these test cases. I'm going to hit the evaluation button. Let's give it a moment. Let me hit evaluate. You can see, right, it has started evaluating the questions and the responses. So the first one has already been passed. Let me click on one. You'll see basis what parameter it has been passed. So we can see the question that it was there in the test cases, as well as what response that the agent has generated. And basis the response and the test case configurations, it has suggested that it seems relevant, it seems complete, and hence it is passing it basis a general quality, right? And you'll continuously keep on seeing the other test cases will also continue to run, and you'll be able to see the scores at the end of this overall evaluation as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chayan, for sharing this. So please go ahead and explore how evaluation metrics are going to make your agent more responsible and reliable. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.